AskReddit by deleted. What eventually disappeared and no one noticed. Our need to know who our neighbors are. I listened to a podcast about human interaction recently and the host said that the internet slowly made it possible to live without knowing who the people are next door. It used to be that we would hang out with people in our street or attend dinners, birthdays, and whatnot. Now, everyone seems to have no need to even so much as introduce themselves. The only time we do get to know each other is if we have a complaint. CD DVD drives in laptops. I found out about this a month ago. I don't own a laptop or computer that's usable. I have a Lenovo I haven't booted up in 4 years. I was really surprised when my friends who play PC games told me that. When I didn't have Wi-Fi I'd put in my Errands Goes to Jail DVD and fall asleep watching it on the floor of my old apartment. Good times. Toys and cereal boxes. Or glow-in-the-dark lightsaber spoons for each Star Wars movie that came out. Somewhere along the way 9-5 turned into 8-5. Yeah, when I hear the song I'm like, wait, did they get paid for lunch? Or just eat at their desks? Or did they actually not work 8 straight hours? We're in the process of full-size can of Arizona teas for $99 disappearing. I'm seeing a lot of places starting to carry the smaller plastic bottles for $99 or the larger plastic bottles for more. I'm honestly surprised that they've lasted for this long at the same price. Deleted. I never see swarms of monarch butterflies anymore. It's a combination of a rise in pesticides combined with our absolute dearth of the plants that the butterflies eat on their journey. If you plant monarch butterfly friendly gardens you'll actually likely become a stop on their migration patterns because it's so needed. It should also be noted that they lay their eggs on milkweed plants and that's the only plants that nurture and grow their larvae into pupae, and milkweed's been heavily removed from gardens and the wild as we grow our cities and agriculture. By planting a number of monarch butterfly gardens, or honestly, general pollinator gardens, as well as providing a water source like a puddling fountain, a shallow bowl fountain, or some form of water feature in your gardens, you can really help all pollinators, but specifically monarchs, due to your question. I live in Minnesota and we see monarchs from time to time, but when you plant the flowers they eat, you can start to see dozens or more during the migration season as they love those plants. People fainting when something unexpected happens. And people carrying smelling salts for just such an occasion. It's so 19th century. There's so many unbelievable things going on that it doesn't even faze us anymore. Those god-awful Chevy commercials with the real people, not actors. One day, I realized I hadn't seen one in a while and it was almost as if they'd never existed. Except I knew they had. Man, I hated those damn things. I believe the YouTube channel Zebra Corner single-handedly killed those ads. I don't know, I didn't notice. Reminds me of a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy quote. You know, said Arthur, it's at times like this, when I'm trapped in a Vogon airlock with the man from Beetlejuice, and about to die of asphyxiation in deep space that I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young. Why? What did she tell you? I don't know, I didn't listen. Sub drinks. I'll forever miss you pink sub in a glass bottle. Kinda surprised I haven't seen this one yet, but Ronald McDonald. You remember the old clown everywhere in and around McDonald's commercials and stores? Gone. Phased out when that clown scare prank trend was going around. He's still chilling on a bench at our local McDonald's. Those rubber bands shaped like things that you wore on your wrists. Silly bands. Gaming consoles at McDonald's. Or in big markets. In the 90s, I lived in a small town that didn't have any big stores, but there was a bigger town an hour's drive away where we did our shopping that had those. In those stores, they had PlayStations and Nintendo 64s out for you to try out. I remember seeing Mario 64 for the first time there, and after some other kids got bored with it, I got to try it out as well. It was magic. I think the last store console I saw was PS3, and the last one I tried was probably GBA. TV bumpers. There used to be a little sequence between the show and commercials. Some of them were really interesting and creative. I think my generation remembers the wand IDs on the Disney Channel, where a Disney celeb would use a wand to make the logo. There were also bumpers that were SARS or other actual content. Edit. Yes, I watched that documentary on YouTube. It's amazing. Everyone go to Defunctland's channel and watch the one on the Disney Channel jingle. Just trust me. Don't look up spoilers. After these messages, we'll be right back. Teo Cruz. He just threw his hands up in the air and disappeared. Gum with sugar. The majority of chewing gum is sugar free. Gum's gotten minty lately. Have you noticed? Like, some of it's just too minty. It's like they're literally trying to hurt. Having many family photographs in homes. Not completely gone, but homes used to be plastered in them. The only times I really notice them is in homes of older people. Got my wife a digital photo frame for the living room. It has all our family photos rotating with the focus on vacations and adventures. We have another in our bedroom that's for our wedding and honeymoon photos. 10/10. Absolutely great investment. So many happy memories, and it never fails to put a smile on her face at least once a day. For parties, we'll purposefully change the photo sets to include anyone who's visiting to see if they catch it. Including brand new photos we took at the current party. It's cute and low-key hilarious when they realize the photo is 5 minutes old. My favorite illegal streaming websites. Just Google online movies 2023 but replace movies with its translation in another language, preferably Eastern European. Oh, and make sure you have an ad blocker. 3D television. I wouldn't say it went away silently. They kinda never took off in the first place. Being able to buy software products etc without needing a monthly subscription for fucking everything. Edit. For all the "oh yes we noticed" comments. I get it. It wasn't an instantaneous thing. But I'm still salty about it. Thank you for your input though. Or using a website without needing to make a fucking account on every single one of them. The foil wrapper on chocolate bars. You could slide a Hershey bar out of the wrapper, eat it, then carefully insert the foil wrapper back into the sleeve to fool your brother. Someone answering the phone at businesses. Speaking of which, has anybody's menu options not recently changed? Blimps. Helium is expensive and drones can do some of their missions. Hear me out. Hydrogen. I hear it's the wave of the future. Reddit live streams. Remember that guy with a guitar in your feed? He disappeared a long time ago but you didn't even notice it. I also remember a very sweaty drummer. Did we ever stop whatever it was Connie was doing in 2012? Connie was never caught but he hasn't been heard from in almost a decade. The LRA, his militia, also decreased in size by like 99%, so it's no longer considered a real threat. Saturday morning cartoons. This was a 1-2 punch from the FCC Educational Programming Act in 1996 and the prevalence of all kids networks on cable. As a kid in the 90s with no cable, I noticed the outrage over net neutrality. Fireflies aka lightning bugs. I live rural and I used to see hundreds on a warm summer night. Now I get excited if I see just one. I mentioned it to other people who live in the same area as I do and they were just like, huh? Yeah, you're right. Edit, lightning bugs. Also, thank you for the awards. I'm a biologist and we categorize fireflies as bioindicators. Meaning if there are a lot in an area, it really says a lot of the environmental quality of that area. They usually thrive in areas where there is less light pollution since bioluminescence is their primary mode of communication. Insert artificial light in the equation and you disrupt their mode for species interaction. Edit, typos. Postcards. And not just in the usual places, like museum gift shops and tourist traps. There was once a time when you could buy at any truck stop or roadside motel a postcard of the small town you were driving through. But not anymore. No point when you can just text your friends a photo. There was a restaurant I visited in Florida that gave you a postcard with your bill. You could write anything on it and add an address, and they would pay for the postage and send it for you. It was a neat novel concept from the restaurant. I wrote an extremely inappropriate rant on it and sent it to my mom's new address because she was planning to move, and I thought it would be really funny. She hadn't bought the house yet, and the older owners must have gotten a bizarre postcard in the mail. Oops. The restaurant is called Yolo in Ft. Lauderdale. Grandfather clocks. It was almost a must-have decor. My company in the 80s gave it as a gift to employees for their 10th anniversary.